outside through the sets, and you got to time the sets right and get the right lulls. But I think it's going to be pretty scary once you get out there.
If somebody gets out during his heat, he's going to win for sure.
We're talking courage now.
Well, courage and luck. You know, to get through something like that, you've got to be really lucky with your timing, or have a real floaty board.
What are the risks then? Going on the rocks?
I would say the risk are death by drowning and ruining your equipment.
Rich Myers versus Craig Masonville.
For the Masters Wave Sailing Championship, Rich Myers and Craig Masonville meet the monster surf head-on. Incredible conditions. The North Shore of Maui is getting pounded. Will they attempt to go to the outside? Myers with a little jump off the inside, the whitewater. Myers stays to the inside and is going to compete in the Masters final on the inside. There's just no chance to get to the outside, so Myers cuts loose on the inside on this small swell. Craig Masonville, blue sail, transition, a nice move, steps to the tail of his board, snaps it around, and picks up this whitewater. Masonville, originally from Michigan, on the blue sail. From Santa Monica, California, comes Richie Myers. Very anticlimactic. 5,000 people on the beach watching this Masters final, and they are sailing 2-foot slop. Myers continues with the wave. Masonville pulls out. Myers scores points. His transition, a clean exit. Stays upright, and he shoots on out with some speed. Another inside wave for Craig Masonville. Masonville scoring some points. To the outside, Richie Myers has made it. He's found an opening, a lull in the waves. Rich Myers, 31 years old, an actor, a model. From Santa Monica, California, is way to the outside while Masonville goes down on the inside and can only hope to get restarted. Look at the waves to the outside. Rich Myers is out there. He does his transition. The largest wave of the set. This is a 10-foot groundswell. Now it hits the reef. It's got some west into it. It starts to close out. He shoots straight for the bottom and tries to get away from this wall of whitewater. Richie Myers gets eaten. Richie Myers gets axed by this 20-foot wall of water, loses his rig, and he is being tossed around underneath that water. Hopefully he's okay. Everybody on the beach is watching. The lifeguards are helpless. There's no way they can survive that. Myers now takes a deep breath, goes down deep as he can. He is getting worked. It is incredible. Myers makes it to the outside and just gets worked by the largest set wave. He has lost his rig. It is to the inside. He is waving for help. No one right now that can help him. Myers now trying to get some air in his lungs. He has just been totally torn apart, thrown around, and beat up by this surf. His rig looks like it's still intact. It is on the inside. He waves. He has now made it to the inside. He's totally out of breath, but he's waving for a caddy. Trying to get started and getting worked is Craig Masonville on the blue sail. He stays with his rig and gets thrown over the falls. He stays with it, though. Here comes Doug Hunt, last year's defending Masters champion, third place this year, eliminated from competition. He is the caddy. He caddies for Rich Myers, brings out a whole new rig. Rich is totally exhausted. And Hunt swims off to try to recover Richie Myers' rig further upwind. And Myers can barely get on the board. He is totally exhausted. Meanwhile, Craig Masonville tries to score some points. Rich looks around, and here comes Doug Hunt, a great caddy, all sorts of strength. Quickly swims upwind, gets Richie's rig. It's still intact. Just a couple of seconds left in this heat. Rich Myers tries a quick water start. He is up. But that is it. This is the end of the heat. Red flag's up, and Rich Myers and Craig Masonville end the most dramatic heat in Masters competition history. Myers comes ashore, thankful that he's alive.
I'd like to tell you this. Remember I said the consequences are drowning by death, or death by drowning. It's true. I almost did it. Wow.
Let's get out of the
Okay, the wave you caught.
It was gnarly because there's no wind on it until the very end, and I couldn't get away from that. I just go, and the lip chased me and caught me.
You felt it coming at you.
I looked back, I go, oh, get out of here, but I couldn't because it wasn't the right wind. Direction was too east.
You didn't try holding
Huh?
Yeah.
You didn't try holding on your board?
Oh, it just got yanked out of my hand so fast. I couldn't try, hell no, no way.
How long were you held under?
I don't know, until I almost died. Really long time. I did about 4 or 5 somersaults underneath, about 30 feet down.
Okay. You think, can the lifeguard save me? Should I give up and wave?
No, I couldn't give up, but I waved and lifeguard couldn't save you, man. I'd be dead by the time you got out there.
Were you waving for a caddy or were you waving for the
First one I
lifeguard?
was just going, let's let me know I was in trouble. But then by the time I got in here, then I was waiting for my caddy. When I realized I was not in big danger anymore.
Swallow any water?
Tons. I'll be throwing that up for a while. And I'm all lightheaded right now. You guys all look funny. I hope I'm still undefeated, because I don't really want to go back out there.
Seemed like an 8-minute swim that might have lasted an eternity for you.
Yeah, I thought it was my last swim.
Okay, when you got your rig in there, you couldn't see it floating around?
I couldn't see anything. I could barely see, you know, I saw Doug standing here with my other rig, but I had no idea where that one was.
Buddy, I don't know what to say.
I know what to say. Feels good to be on the beach.
And the new Masters Wave Sailing Champion of the Aloha Classic, Rich Myers.
All I know is that was one big wave. You look like you were in pretty bad condition out there. Been kind of being held down for a long time, jerked around. How did it feel like? Looked to us like you were drowning.
Well, I was drowning. And I tried waving for help at first, and I saw that wasn't to my avail.
Looked pretty gnarly. What happened?
Well, I didn't know what was really going on. All I know is it's time to start saving each little breath.
Sort of beyond panic, huh?
Yeah, it was actually kind of relaxing. Thought a lot about little trivial things like, who's going to spend my winning check money and who's going to be able to cash a check. And then I thought about why I kind of predicted my own drowning in the interview right before I left out there. I said, yeah, it's consequence of death by drowning. And here I am doing that exact thing. Then I just didn't panic anymore and just thought, well, it's it, and just relaxed. And next thing I knew, I popped up, noticed that it was time to get into shore, so I swam in as fast as I could.
That was a pretty big wave. You know, there's a lot of interesting theories on how they judge waves, but that looked like a big one to me. How big do you think it was?
Well, it's probably on a Hawaiian scale about 12 feet, and if you measure from the feet, the bottom of the wave to the crest, it's about a 20, 25-foot face, I imagine.
All I know is that was one big wave and one bad wipeout.
Yeah, hope that doesn't happen again.
Hawaiian conditions can be really awesome, a veritable mecca for the windsurfer. But for the spectator, it's not that easy to get here. When Robbie Nash won his World Cup title in Zandvoort, Holland, there was more than 100,000 spectators on the final day. We asked some of the competitors here if crowds of that magnitude were possible here in the States.
In Europe, they're quicker to pick up on stuff. You know, they really enjoy the sport, and it's neat to see a lot of people like that.
I don't know. I think we're spoiled over here. We got too much to do already.
Some of the problems are that some of the really good locations just aren't around large populations.
California will be at Halama Beach, which is in the middle of the boonies, and how many people are going to drive all the way out here? You know, it's just, I don't think we have the spots right in the limelight enough, and that's the main problem.
People like California and Hawaii and all this area, they're used to surfing. And in Europe, surfing is a big deal. During the Beach Boy era and all that, they never had anything to relate to. They just heard about it. And now windsurfing is their surfing.
I think our sports can start growing a lot more in the United States just because it's more colorful.
I still really think that America's got a long way to go and that the sport's still growing really fast over here.